When you start a new job, you need to fill out Form W-4. Users of this guide are advised to refer to the complete legislation or other applicable materials to ensure accuracy and comprehensive coverage of the material. Further, changes to legislation or administration actions that become effective after this date may make the information provided in this guide no longer current. This guide is provided to you for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as legal or tax advice. Consult your legal or tax advisor for specific advice. Key points. 1. Employee's Withholding Certificate, Form W-4, is an IRS document used by employees. 2. When the employee begins working, the employee must fill it out and submit it. 3. Employers should use a Form W-4 that has been filled out to calculate how much federal income tax, FIT, should be deducted from employee wages. 4. An employee may claim credit for dependent kids on Form W-4. 5. The dependent credit depends on the age of the dependent. 6. Dependents are eligible for a $500 credit if they are over the age of 17 years old and $2,000 if they are under 17 years old. 7. The need to amend a form may arise from a significant life event for an employee. What is Form W-4? When an employee begins working for an organization, they must complete IRS Form W-4, Employee's Withholding Certificate. Employee must fill up the following information on the form: name, address, Social Security number, filing status, example, single, multiple job or spouse work information, if applicable, number of dependents, if applicable, adjustments, if applicable, signature. Additionally, the form includes a few worksheets that employees can use to figure out how many jobs they have and what deductions they have made. Depending on the individual employee, some form sections may be skipped, example, claiming dependents. Employers must calculate the amount of federal income tax, FIT, to deduct from employees' paychecks based on the Form W-4 that the employee has completed. The IRS Form W-4 is primarily filled out by the employee, although there is a minor section at the bottom that employers must complete. Employers must fill out the form with the following details: employer's name and address, employee's first date of employment, employer identification number, EIN. What is the use of Form W-4? A Form W-4 is used to calculate the amount of federal income tax that will be withheld from an employee's paycheck. The form is filled up by employees using the worksheets and tables. Employer will utilize the form to determine the employee's FIT withholding after that. Employers need to use the tax tables in IRS Publication 15T to determine how much federal income tax, FIT, should be deducted from an employee's paycheck. Remember that the IRS Publication 15T contains tax tables that are compatible with W-4 forms from 2019 and prior. Before calculating the employee's withholding, make sure you're using the right tax table. Are you exempt from filing Form W-4? Some employees may, in exceptional circumstances, be excused from federal income taxes. This means that no federal income tax is deducted from the employee's salary. The federal income tax exemption is only available to some employees. A worker is exempt if they owed no federal income taxes for the prior year. Expect not to owe any federal income taxes this year. Employees must indicate on Form W-4 that they are exempt from FIT by writing "exempt" in the box underneath line 4, C. On their W-4 form, exempt workers must additionally include their name, address, SSN, and signature. Remember that the data on Form W-4 never expires. An exemption from withholding, however, does. Employees who claim exemption on Form W-4 must submit a fresh form by February 15 of each year. Look at IRS Publication 505 and the general instructions on Form W-4 W4 for more information on exemption from withholding. What employee need to do to claim dependents? Starting from 2020 and later, the Form W-4 is changed to claim dependents instead of allowances. The new Form W-4, an employee with a dependent child must look at their dependent's age to determine the amount of the child tax credit and the credit for other dependents that they may be able to claim. Dependents under 17 have a dependent amount of $2,000, while dependents over 17 have a $500 amount. What is the employer's responsibility? Yes, the majority of Form W-4 is completed by your employees. However, employer has a few Form W-4 obligations as an employer, including completing the Form W-4's bottom employer section, W-4 data entry in your payroll processing system, immediately after receiving the form, withhold taxes, maintaining all W-4 documents in your files for a minimum of 4 years. Employer and employee may occasionally get a letter from the IRS stating that not enough FIT was withheld from the employee's pay. In most cases, the letter gives the employer instructions to withhold federal income tax at a higher rate. If an employer or employee gets a letter from the IRS, the withholding tax needs to be adjusted within 60 days in accordance with the notice's instructions. Keep in mind, too, that the employee does have the option to challenge or alter their deductions.
Meet Stanley. Stanley works really hard all year, but when it comes around to tax time, he gets worried. He doesn't want to lose more money to the taxman than he should. It all seems so complicated. Stanley never really knows if he's getting back or keeping what money is rightfully his. So this tax year, Stanley decided things will be different. He decided to find a qualified accountant who could make sure his taxes were done right. Thankfully, he found us. We can deal with all Stanley's tax affairs, even the complex stuff, because our staff are fully qualified, competent, and professional. We always make sure our clients receive everything they're entitled to, right down to the last penny. So now when it comes to tax time, Stanley doesn't have to go it alone against the taxman, and neither do you. Because with us on your side, you can be sure your financial affairs are in good hands. For complete peace of mind at tax time, contact us today.